are just like so stereotypical. They're like, oh, they're on the street, they're tramps. They're a carpet big posh flats and city centre apartments. But I'd actually love to see them go through what we've gone through in our lives, like being in care, different foster homes, having to be moved down south away from your parents. They wouldn't like it, they seriously wouldn't. They'd be so shocked on how it is. It is really horrible. My dad's like nearly raped everybody in the family, apart from a couple of people liking, I'm including myself, like 22 counts in that. And some of the people in my family, the social services turned around and let them go live back with my dad when they knew full well what he'd done to them. And they're just disgusting the way that they go about it. You get more deaths with social services than you do as if you were living with your own parents. I come back to Leeds, luckily my sister was already in a home that they were going to put me in. So, I was like really lucky in that sense. And then when I left that care home, I lived with partners and friends. I'm just like, I haven't had my own place for about a good 2 years. I had £24,000 when I was 18 from criminal injuries. In 1.5 months I'd gone out every single day, shopping sprees, going to really posh restaurants. I thought I would it. Seriously thought I would it. You'd be surprised on how many friends that you do get when you've got money, but when you haven't got people don't want to know you. And it's like, well, you are still human, you do still have feelings, and you do still care. And at the end of the day, if you've got nowhere to go, what are you supposed to do? For the first time last week, I had to sleep in a derelict old school, and it was horrible. I was frightened to death, like loads of needles absolutely everywhere. Never, ever, ever done that before. Take things for granted. You don't think that nothing bad's ever going to happen to you, and when it does, it's pretty shit, excuse my French.
Yeah, I went back to my dad's and thought I would going to try and work it out with him, because me and my dad don't get along very well. And with it like not working, it fell through, and me and my dad just went our separate ways again. So it's like, well, I've got no family whatsoever. I don't know any of my family. When I come out of my dad's and out of what I thought was my family, I just closed up. I mean, I'm still not fully open yet. So I'm like, I got my place in this hostel. I've got a roof over my head. So I'm not really bothered what the people outside think. The people outside can think whatever they want of me. But I know that I'm a human being inside, and that's how it is.
I got beat up by my ex-boyfriend. He really nearly killed me. On my back were bad, really bad, with bruises. I couldn't sleep, the nightmares I had. I got kicked, punched, you name it. I got threatened with a knife and a gun. I got raped about 6-7 times. Let anyone touch me. I was that badly damaged. I'm knocking on my door screaming for help all the time, banging and banging on my door. We were getting really annoyed with it until she actually sat down and explained it, and then we were just both sat there crying for about 6 hours or so. No, he got arrested for what he'd done to me, and he's in jail now. It feels good. I do feel safe. And I got 3 nice friends here.
We've made us home, and all of a sudden the government decided, well, bottom of Eastgate don't look that good, so we're going to destroy the lot.
The government are on about trying to get people off of the streets, but whilst they're doing all this bleeding work and knocking these types of buildings down where people can actually go if they are homeless, then it's no point. There's no point in knocking it down. I mean, it's a really nice place, this. It is really nice, and staff are really friendly as well.
came back from Spain in January, just basically for a couple of weeks holiday. Ended up meeting somebody, getting together, but I was only supposed to be staying at my friend's house for 2 weeks. I was there 2 months, and basically there wasn't enough space, so they asked me to move out. I didn't particularly want to put on anybody else because I've been putting on people, you know, while I was here, so just without house advice. They said I was classed as homeless. I was working at the time, I had a job, and they turned round and told me when they put me into hospital I had to quit my job because it wasn't in my best interests to be working. Because I've quit my job, I wouldn't necessarily get my job seekers, so the government has no reason to support me. How do they expect you to make your own home? How do they expect you to get on your feet? The support really isn't there. They say there's support, there's no support. There's support, yeah, if you want to go and get a free meal or you want to go and get this, but there's no support in regards of them helping you to get housing. It just seems to be a downward spiral, and it's so fucking hard to work your way back up. I don't get on with my parents particularly well, but I've only just told my parents, you know, that I'm living here. It's hard. It's hard on me, but it's hard putting pressure on other people, and that it gets you really down, thinking that you've got to rely on people all the time. You meet your friends, you don't say, oh, where you're living, what you're doing, you know, if you're not seeing off, you say, oh, I'm homeless, I live in a hostel, because it's just, I don't know, it's a nice thing to say. Like, I get the money to go out for a night, and I pull or something, and they're like, oh, where are you living? I'm like, I'm homeless. Like, oh right, and they automatically think you're really low and you're scutty and you're thick as well, and they usually don't want anything to do with you. I want to work with homeless people, or benefits, something that's going to help, because it's made me see, going through the system, how it doesn't work really as it's supposed to. I was in Spain now, I've been living up. I had my own little place. I was going out every night, I was enjoying myself, I had loads of friends, and I've come back to this to live in a hostel, and I'd give it all up for nothing.